Hello, dear students. Today we are going to speak about grammar. Passive voice. Open your books at page 66, exercise 1. Let's look at the sentences below. Which sentence emphasizes what happened to a subject rather than what a subject did? Let's look. Shackleton explored Antarctica. Antarctica was explored by Shackleton. We see the second sentence emphasizes what happened to Antarctica. It is a passive sentence. The first sentence emphasizes who did it. Shackleton. Now let's remember the rules. Passive voice. We form it with the verb to be in the appropriate tense or form with the past participle of the main verb. Let's look. For example, in present simple we say is. Present continuous is being. Past simple was. Past continuous was being. Present perfect simple has been. Past perfect had been. Future simple will be. Infinitive to be. Modal verbs, for example, must be.
Fried insects are eaten in many Asian countries.
We use the passive when the person, people doing the action is or unknown, unimportant, or obvious from the context.
Many spices are sold in this market.
When the action itself is more important than the person, people doing it, as in news headlines, newspaper articles, advertisements, instructions, formal notices, processes, etc.
These dishes are offered at discount prices from 7 till 3 daily.
We use the passive to emphasize the agent.
All the recipes will be presented by Jamie Oliver.
Changing from the active into the passive, we are to remember the object of the active sentence becomes the subject in the passive sentence. The active verb remains in the same tense but changes into the passive form. The subject of the active sentence becomes the agent, which is either introduced with the preposition by or is omitted when the subject is they, he, someone, people, one, etc.
Mary made this chocolate cake. This chocolate cake was made by Mary.
With the verbs that take two objects such as offer, give, lend, bring, tell, send, show, teach, promise, sell, read, etc., we can form two different passive sentences. For example, in active, somebody offers something to somebody. In passive, something is offered to somebody. In active, somebody offers somebody something, you will say somebody is offered something.
Our school gives us lunch every day. We are given lunch at our school every day. Lunch is given to us by our school every day.
Now let's do exercise 2. You are to complete with different forms of the verb to be: was, being, be, is, and the verb has. Now let's check. In present simple, the school holds a nature day every May. A nature day is held every May. Present continuous. Nurlan is organizing a hiking trip. A hiking trip is being organized by Nurlan. Past simple. The school children cleaned the footpath. The footpath was cleaned by the school children. In past continuous, you will say the artist was painting the portrait. And in passive, the portrait was being painted by the artist. Present perfect. They have already built the visitor center. The visitor center has already been built. Future simple. The mayor will open the new nature reserve. The new nature reserve will be opened by the mayor. Models. You can see the Tian Shan Mountains in Kazakhstan. The Tian Shan Mountains can be seen in Kazakhstan. An infinitive. They need to wear walking boots during the trip. Walking boots need to be worn during the trip. In exercise 3, we are to define plurals or singular. We are to put the verb is or are. Earth Day is held on the 22nd of April. David Attenborough is known for his nature documentaries. The Tian Shan Mountains are located in Kazakhstan. In exercise 4, we are to read the theory and to use with or by to complete the following sentence. Let's read. We use by plus agent in the passive to say who or what carries out an action, but we use with instrument, material, ingredient in the passive to say what the agent used.
These delicious desserts were made by trainee chefs. They were made with the best ingredients.
Now let's check the fourth exercise. The wallabies were brought to Scotland by Lady Colquhoun. The hikers were equipped with raincoats and walking boots. Over the year, the forest has been destroyed by people cutting down trees. The Kazakh steppe is covered with grass. The red panda is hunted by people for its fur. And your task is exercise 5. You are to rewrite the sentences in the passive. In which sentences can we omit the agent and why? Let's look. For example, the president opened the country's first national park. The country's first national park was opened by the president. In sentence 4, the subject is they. We do not know who exactly, that's why we may say that agent is unknown, so we can omit it. And in the last sentence, we also cannot say who is watering the plants at the moment. It is also an unknown agent. You are to write down these sentences in your copybooks.